just found out that TJ, one of our producers, that he knows a guy. What, you worked with this dude?
So I worked with Orlando Jones's dad. Like, Orlando Jones is a big actor in Hollywood and all that. He played in The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, and he also played in Drumline with, I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh, that dude, yeah.
I don't know that I've seen that movie.
But I worked with his dad at Lowe's right before this.
No way.
How cool is that?
It's amazing on the people that you walk into in life that either they have a famous person in their family or know somebody who has a famous person, like this Orlando Bloom guy.
No, that's a totally different actor.
Yeah,
Orlando Jones. My aunt is really big into this whole ancestry, looking up the family tree, and she found out that we are related to Louis XIV. He was not a great king, from what I understand, but I don't know this is true. This is just what my aunt has found in her research.
This answers a lot of questions for me.
Does it?
Yeah, the big one is, why is Liz so much into royalty? And now I know why, because of this Louis dude.
Look, I'm the daughter of a king, but it ain't Louis XIV. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there you go.
His morning crew.
Thinking about a famous person that might be in your life, your family, somebody that you know, somebody that you worked with that knows somebody that, how it's related to them. It's kind of crazy on how many people you can run into like that.
I know. I think he's like my sixth cousin, William Westmoreland. He was a general in the Vietnam War. So I've always heard that growing up. I've never met him, and I think he's passed on now. But, so that's kind of cool.
He seems to be, I can picture him for some reason. I don't know why. Did he get into acting at any time?
Not that I know.
No, just always one of those generals that always show up in pictures from back in the day.
And when you're studying and whatever. But Katie, she texted and said, my dad's first cousin is Ryan Seacrest's grandmother.
What?
I know. How wild is it? And I'm not really good with the whole tree branches and all. Like, how does that make her? Like, how is that relation to her then? My dad's first cousin is Ryan Seacrest's grandma.
Well, that would be a cousin.
Would it still be a cousin? Like
yeah,
twice
the first
removed
cousin.
Or something like that?
Oh, you mean to her?
Yeah, exactly.
That's second cousin.
Okay.
My dad's first cousin, that would be her second cousin.
All right. I'm going to trust
you
on that.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
I got no idea.
I'm sticking to it.
Chris said my boss owned an arena football team with Gene Simmons from Kiss.
No, really?
Yeah. And he said in person, because he asked him, what's he like in person? He said he's a very smart businessman with a whole lot of energy.
Okay.
I guess so.
I could see that.
Okay.
Teresa's along with us at 800-447-7234. What's the story, Teresa?
We are direct descendants of William Bradford.
Oh, the dude that came over on the Mayflower.
How did you discover that?
Started when I was little doing my Girl Scout badge on Ancestry and spent many, many hours at the library doing the research and looking through microfiche to find all the records and came upon it. And since then, I've gone back and grabbed all the documentation to make sure it was true.
So that is quite a conversation starter for you.
It is. And the crazy part is that on my dad's side, it goes back to Native Americans, but we can't trace it because there are no records.
Sure.
But we always joke around at Thanksgiving that I had family on both sides of the table.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
TJ, who's one of our producers on his morning crew. It's Rob and Liz, his radio. Thanks for listening. So, TJ, if I have this right, it was a brother's uncle, boss's friend's dad's brother's aunt who's related to Orlando Bloom?
No. Not even close.
What?
I was trying to figure it out. What was it again?
So I worked with a guy who was the father of Orlando Jones.
Orlando Jones.
Jones, not Bloom.
Yeah, not Bloom.
I had the wrong Orlando.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I just remember Dawn and I remember Florida and Disney when it comes to Orlando. And that's about it. So we started thinking about, famous people and how close you are to them, whether it's one in your family or someone like TJ who worked with a guy's dad.
Right.
That
no
he had a
idea.
son who was Orlando Jones.
There you go. You got it. Tassie said, my great-great-grandfather was Al Capone.
Ooh.
Al Capone! phone. What? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Tammy said, I am a direct descendant of John Clymer, who was a governor from Pennsylvania who actually signed the Declaration of Independence.
No way.
I mean, can you imagine like going to the Smithsonian and seeing it and saying, oh, that's
fam.
That's family right there.
That's fam.
And you're
from
welcome.
That line, yes. Melissa's here at 800-447-7234. Who is it for you, Melissa?
So my grandpa's uncle painted the Coca-Cola Santa Claus, and it was a self-portrait.
Get out.
His name was Haddon Sundblom, and that's my mom's maiden name. And our grandpa would just tell us how his uncle painted, and he was an artist. He didn't have a family, but that one painting where he's looking at a little note hanging off of a fireplace, and it says Jimmy on it. That's my grandpa.
Oh, wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah, my grandpa was James Sundblom, and so his little nephew was Jimmy. So, he often, like, little notes and stuff like that on presents would say Jimmy, and that's my grandpa.
That's cool. And all the pictures you probably have hanging around the house.
I know, and they're originals possibly.
Yeah, the first ever selfie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Russell said, he just texted and said, my wife's uncle is Pete Rose. Right?
Really?
I was like, what?
Pete Rose.
That's pretty cool.
Who was that?
Russell.
Russell.
His wife's uncle.
His wife's uncle.
Yeah.
So baseball's in the blood.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
This young lady right here got involved with his radio, giving a gift of support during Friendraiser.
I just wanted to say thank you for your words today. I woke up today not feeling so good. You know, my job, I essentially help people work through their debt. And so I hear a lot of sad stories, and I take on a lot of people's sadness and stuff. And, you know, you just have those days where it's like, it's starting to affect you. And so I woke up this morning not feeling so good. And the words that you've been ministering out over the airwaves today, I just wanted to say thank you, because honestly, I was not in a good place, but you really are helping today. So thank you.
Isn't that amazing when you think about it? Here she is supporting his radio and then giving that call during Friendraiser and then saying, man, the words that you're saying is just reaching my heart.
Right. And I would never have thought, I'm glad she enlightened me, especially to what she does for a living, helping people through their debt. Because you know that healthcare workers, maybe teachers, ministers, and things like that, take on people's sadness because they're compassionate and they're empathetic. But somebody that works to help people get over their debt, they need that kind of support.
That can be depressing because of what people are walking through right now. And thank you for doing what you do. And thank you for supporting his radio. By the way, Friendraiser ended 3.5 days. We ended early, which was amazing. That's because of people like you. And because of you, the goal was met. So we just wanted to just take a second and say thank you from our hearts for what you did during Friendraiser to keep his radio going and on the air.
His morning crew.
How much is $1 worth?
$1?
$1, yeah. No. It's worth six figures. $1 is worth six figures.
Let me go look, see what I got in my pocketbook.
Yeah, see how many dollars you have. And not just a dollar bill, but it would be the dollar coin. There used to be those things.
Right, I
back
remember
in the
those,
day.
yeah.
There was one that came out that was the prototype for the very first coined dollar.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Came out in 1794. Just went up for auction. For how much?
Six figures?
Six figures, yeah.
How much?
$840,000 in an auction. Thing went for.
Who has that coin?
Joe does.
Joe has the coin.
Yeah, Joe.
He's putting it up for auction. That's, you hear about.
No, Joe bought it. I don't know
I
don't know what his name is. You just asked who, and I just grabbed the name.
It was from George Washington. Who knows? But coin collectors, they get a bum rap sometimes.
Why?
Because people are like, "Oh, you collect coins," and this is why. I think this is it right here.
This is very rare.
Yes, my dad used to collect coins. That's pretty cool.
Is that one of these?
No.
No.
No, I don't even know where his coin collection is now. He's passed, but yeah, he
look in the
still
attic.
Up. Maybe.
Just look in the attic. You'll find it.
I doubt it's anything like that. It's probably from like 1984.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I don't know if your kids ever wondered what you used to watch on TV when you were growing up, but they're going to learn pretty quick. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
And maybe they're out of shows to binge watch, and they are looking for something new that you can introduce them to. Nexstar Media, they are about to launch something called Rewind TV. So a new streaming service, another new streaming service is coming back. It's going to kick off September 1st, and it's all those big shows from like the 80s and 90s. So my sons have gotten into like Survivor, not that it's that far back, but it's some of those old shows, the original seasons.
Pretty close. That came out in 2000.
Yeah, I mean, it was a while back, but these are like the shows, you remember like the Drew Carey show. I was never really into the Drew Carey show or anything like that, but I know it was really big at the time. Then Facts of Life and Growing Pains. Let's see, Family Ties. You got, of course, Growing Pains with Kirk Cameron, who's a relevant star today. But this is where kind of he got started. Did you know Leonardo DiCaprio was on that show?
Yeah, he was a little kid. That was near its end.
It was,
of that
because
show.
that was the son that they adopted. But Different Strokes is one of those shows. So it's those iconic shows from the 80s and 90s that you're going to be able to stream.
Sounded like you just blurted out a bunch of 80 shows.
Yeah, well, 90s I think was Drew Carey. Wings. Remember Wings?
Wings is going to be on that too?
Yes, I used to like Wings.
That's on Hulu.
Is it? Mm-hmm. See, I don't have Hulu.
Oh, wow. You're missing out on so much.
Well, I try to.
And you said this is not going to be a channel. It's going to be this is going to be a streaming service?
It's going to be a streaming service,
Oh, so now there's another streaming service you got to pay for.
Yeah, I know. So,
by the time, you cut the cord so you can save the cable costs.
Right.
But by the time you add up all the streaming services, you're paying like what you did for cable.
I know, because there's Discovery, there's Disney, there's Hulu,
They got all these pluses.
Yeah. But Pluto TV, that's a free one, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't have this kind of,
It doesn't have that interaction, so.
Well, on all the channels you want to get, it doesn't have on there. They have it. Anyway, now you got me talking about, I'm boring
There's
everybody.
So many to choose
There
from.
is. You got to pay on mine.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
It just turns out that Josh is the winner of the whole thing. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. And I kind of thought when I heard about this that Josh was a shoo-in. I knew Josh was going to win.
I think Josh thought he was going to win.
Well, Josh knew. He knew as soon as he showed up that Josh was going to win. And by golly, Josh won in this Josh competition because it was the ultimate battle of the Joshes. It's funny because this is a college kid. 22 years old, and he thought, I want to look for other Joshes. Yeah. So he took it to the Facebook. They created a meme, and now it turned into a huge competition where hundreds, literally hundreds of men and children named Josh showed up to compete to be the ultimate Josh.
And you could only compete if your name was Josh. That was the only way you could take part. They had a pool noodle battle royale to compete.
Oh, yeah.
But it was all different types of Joshes. There's a Josh that even dressed up like, I'm going to call him Josh Baca. It was a Chewbacca outfit, but it had to have been Josh Baca.
Oh, my.
And they competed, but the ultimate winner makes me so happy.
Yeah, 5-year-old little kid. Josh, who's 5, won. Yeah. Especially the noodle competition. He got the prized pool noodles we're talking about.
Right.
And the prized crown, which was a BK crown.
Yeah, Burger King crown.
Burger King crown. The cardboard thing you get from Burger King.
What little kid doesn't love those Burger King crowns? I used to work for Burger King, man. We would wear those things.
Yeah, but he was the ultimate Josh.
He was, but
he took it home.
And I love that. And you think, okay, why did this Josh kid, 22-year-old college student, want to do this? He was actually raising money. So, like all the money that was raised to enter and went to the Children's Hospital and Medical Center Foundation. So it was a lot of fun and for a great cause.
Josh, I was rooting for you. I knew you would win, Josh.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
I wanted to thank your radio station, who has been praying for my brother Richard, who has been in the hospital for 25 days in ICU. I have been so encouraged by beautiful songs you have been playing. There is this one song that had the word that was being played on your radio station. I kept hearing it, and I can't remember who sings that or the title of that song, but it played at least 3 times during this past week, which helped my brother get off his breathing machine and his feeding tube, and his X-ray is really good. So thank you from the bottom of my heart with all your encouragement, your songs and prayers, and gospel word of Jesus. There's nothing better to hear than your radio station of gospel music. So thank you so much.
You are very welcome. When I first heard that, I'm like, man, it's here for a reason.
Yeah.
God has the station here for a reason, and it's to help people just like that young lady whose brother is walking through that horrible journey. So many people in the hospital right now, people who are suffering from COVID and other things. I was in the hospital, months ago, but not for that.
No.
It was for other reasons. I mean, life just hits, and it hits hard, and his radio is right there with that right song at the right time. And because of you and your help last week with Friendraiser, it continues. I mean, we met our goal and early by, a day and a half.
I know. Supposed to go 5 days, but because people believed, we could wrap this thing up early, they were even adding it to their gift. Had a number 4. You're going to do it in 4 days. And it actually ended on Thursday, about midday, which makes three and a half days that we were doing this. So it was incredible. And it was all because of your generosity and feeling that little tug on your heart and following through.
His Morning Crew.
I'm so sorry if for some reason you weren't able to get those Girl Scout cookies this year. I think we may have some good news. I'm not sure. Yeah. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
I know where you can get some Girl Scout cookies. Unfortunately, this happened in Atlanta. Girl Scouts ordered lots and lots of cookies, and they are now stuck with $3 million worth of cookies.
That's a lot of cookies.
It's a lot of cookies. I did the math. If they're about $5 a box, it's like 600,000 boxes of cookies. What they said was it's because despite the online orders that were really, really high, they had ordered enough so that they could do these in-person cookie sales like at, different grocery stores and Walmart and things like that.
Didn't happen.
And it either didn't happen or didn't happen as much. And I don't know if it was because of just not being able to be out there or people just weren't stopping or what the case was. But
so now what happens with them?
So what they're trying to do is sell them online. So you can go online to Girl Scouts and you can search that area, I think, or call your local troop and they may be able to put you in touch with these girls in Atlanta. And maybe even there's some, in our area around the Carolinas and Georgia that might have some extras that they want to sell online. But
who knows?
This seems to be the most that I've heard of.
So if you want your is it Thin Mint?
Thin Mint.
That's the go-to one for a lot of people.
I don't like those, and I'm sorry,
really?
Girl Scout. I'm not a fan, and I like mint.
But that is the original Girl Scout cookie, isn't it?
Right, it's
Isn't
like the poster child of Girl Scout
Why
cookies.
don't you like it? What's wrong with it?
It's just not my thing.
I am so sorry.
I like a Samoa.
A Samoa.
Uh-huh.
You don't do the gluten-free ones, do you?
No, I don't even know what the gluten-free
is. Well, you don't pay for the gluten. It's free.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Hang on just 1 second. I need to take a nap, so I need to play one of these AMRAP things. Hang on. That makes me want to go to sleep. I'm sorry, that's irritating. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
A lot of people like it, though. It's ASMR, which is the Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response is what that stands for.
Well, it's something that helps you go to sleep.
Exactly.
White noise. Why don't they just call it white noise?
Because not all white noise. I mean, some of it is like people eating and scratching on microphones.
I don't know. That helps people sleep. I'm sorry.
My daughter loves it.
People eating? She goes to sleep.
I don't know about the eating
Just go to
part.
the restaurant.
I think she likes...
Take a nap.
You might want Golden Corral just right up on the buffet. Just take a nap.
Take one of those rocking chairs inside.
Disney's Animal Kingdom has gotten into it. I could fall asleep to that.
Really?
Yeah. What they have is all kinds of different sounds from around the park, whether it's the birds, the feathers fluttering, or the waterfalls.
The kids screaming at mom.
I don't think that's part
babies who want to take a nap and they're getting drugged through the animal kingdom.
No,
is that it?
No, that's what they're trying to relax from. It's more turtles eating lettuce.
Turtle. I have a few of these things.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I'm sorry, but this. No, listen to this.
Okay.
This is one of them. It's somebody eating chips. It sounds like in the park.
It's a turtle on lettuce.
That's turtle on lettuce,
Maybe.
really?
I don't know.
Here's one.
the waterfall.
Okay. I could probably, that might help me.
Yeah, that's the white noise that I would, yeah.
Yeah, how about this? I'm sorry, I can't sleep to that. Who can sleep to that?
Well, not loud, like you just barely turn it on, so it's just in the background. I'm not sure what that is.
Irritating. That's what that is.
I could go to sleep to the waterfall, probably some of the animals. I don't know about the turtles eating lettuce.
That thing? It's like someone washing dishes there, it sounds like to me, but that's Animal Kingdom. Sounds like a Brillo pad.
That does sound a little bit.
Doesn't it?
You know what I was thinking? Somebody like sloughing off their feet, you know?
Sloughing
like
off their feet?
getting a pedicure where they take that thing.
Ew. Oh.
That sounded like.
Oh, wow.
His morning crew.
You know, there is food insecurity all across this country. There are some families that really struggle. You know, they get free breakfast and lunch when their kids are in school. And that kind of thing,
and then last summer, because of the pandemic, that was horrific for a lot of families where kids couldn't even eat.
Right. But schools and different communities and, of course, different states made it to where they would take the food out to the children and that kind of thing, just to make sure that they were getting something. Well, the USDA says that they are going to feed 30 million kids this summer, so they put aside some of that money so that they can get the kids fed while they're not in school. So if that was something that was a source of concern, you know, whether you've been out of work or just trying to make the ends meet, rest assured that your kids are going to be taken care of. And I think that takes a lot of that burden and that heaviness off.
Takes a pressure off.
Yeah,
It certainly does.
So good to hear.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
I think that we're running out of names
What do you mean?
for roller coasters.
Oh, okay.
Because there are like tons of roller coasters.
Oh, everywhere.
All over the globe.
New ones all the time.
Yeah. So there is a roller coaster, and it's in the UK.
Okay.
It was called the Pepsi Max.
Really?
And they of course, no longer have rights to the roller coaster, the name anymore. So it's
Okay.
not called the Pepsi Max. Instead, it's called the roller coaster, the big one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's creative.
Very creative because it's a big roller coaster.
What you going to call it now?
It is
We'll call it the
big,
big one.
and it's, yeah. What are we going to call the next roller coaster? Bigger than the bigger one.
the biggest
So,
one.
yeah, the biggest one. There you go. So, but I don't know if you follow anybody on TikTok, but if you do and you were swiping all over the place, you probably noticed a couple of young ladies that were on that roller coaster, along with everybody else on the roller coaster. It was, you know, when it brings you up,
Okay.
all the way. So it gets up almost to where it goes to the first drop.
Yeah.
It stops.
On top.
Yes.
And they were stuck there.
They are there.
How long were they there?
18 and a half hours.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not that long.
Even 18 minutes, I'd be freaked out.
Yeah. So what they had to do was, you know, the people who fix things walked all the way up the stairs and then got them out. And all these people on that ride had to walk all the way down. It was like 216 feet.
So they have
altogether.
Stairs?
Oh, yeah. For this reason.
Oh, because I'm like, did they have to shimmy down the roller coaster, or how did that work? I didn't know they had stairs.
Yeah, they gave them mats and they went down.
That would be a whole different roller coaster.
Yes,
Wow.
it would be. Everybody's safe. Nobody's
Good.
hurt, but they all had to walk down. But the thing is, because, you know, they had their phones on the coaster, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, because if they drop,
Yeah.
that could hurt somebody.
It
yeah.
could, you know, kind of smack you in the head.
Right, and
That's
you
not
lose
good.
your phone too. But wow, they had to walk all the way down. Hopefully they got a free Slurpee at the bottom of that thing.
No, they need season passes, not a free Slurpee.